JD Frost. Welcome to the Accountability Show. Please go ahead and like this episode. Without even watching it, just hit the like button, okay? But I really appreciate you watching and tuning into this. If you've been watching all these different episodes, we are going over creating a firm accounting foundation for your business. And these episodes, we're focused on the art of bank financing. And it's from the Mastering the Rockefeller Habits book. And in chapter 13, they have this chapter. It's called Mastering the Art of Bank Financing. That's what we're focused on. In prior episodes, we've been talking about balance sheets and income statements. And this is all kind of building on itself. So if you've kind of caught this episode and you're like, man, this is interesting information, go back to the beginning and start watching the Accountability Show, because these concepts, they all build on each other all the way from forming your entity and having an idea about a business all the way up till now of getting additional funding for your business so that you can grow or that you can just plain survive. Because right now it is so difficult to survive in this economic environment. It's difficult to survive in uncertain times. But the best leaders are certain in uncertain times. They know where they're going, they're focused, they have an objective, and they will achieve it. In a couple episodes before, we talked about the 3 Ps in the art of financing. You've got to have preparation, presentation, and persistence. And persistence is what is going to get you during the time of this and economic times like this that are uncertain. That will get you through. So going back into the art of bank financing, you've got to have an incredible finance package that is going to sizzle and sizzle sales. You got to have a great story to tell. You got to be able to show them graphs. And who is them? Banks, lenders, private investors, private money, maybe even friends and family, maybe a new partner. You got to get people excited about your business. You've got to get them enthusiastic about your business. You've got to have them have the same enthusiasm about your success as you do. And so when you're putting together a financing package, when you're trying to go get money from somebody and you are down in the dumps because your business isn't working, they're going to feel that from you. They're not going to be excited. They're not going to want to invest in your business. It's got to be a no-brainer. And the way to create a no-brainer situation is to be prepared. So if you're going to a banker, most bankers are very conservative in nature. They're going to be focused on the past. They're not focused on the future. But if you're excited about what is happening in your business and you're able to clearly communicate, create a lot of clarity for them through writing it down, what the vision is, what your executive summary is, the company information, the company history, what we're going to be talking about today a little bit more in detail. If you're able to have that on paper and push that across the table and say, take a look at this, they're going to be impressed. Whenever you take a set of financial statements that is a reviewed set of financial statements or audited financial statements, and you have your shit together, there's a perception there that you've got the rest of your business put together like that. There's a perception that is generated that is like, man, they know what's going on. You got to have that in your business. You've got to create that perception before you go ask for money for your business. So there's going to be a lot in this episode, so hang on. We've got different sections of your financing package. You need to have an executive summary. You need to have industry information. You need to have company information, management, organization, and ownership structure. You need to have financial information and projections. You've got to have what the purpose of your loan. What is the use of these funds? What is the amount of the loan that you need? And there's a difference between those two. And then what exhibits do you have that are going to be able to show that? So your executive summary needs to include your history. It needs to include your future. It needs to include where you've been, where you are. What are your potential strategies for the future? It's a summary of your company and why it exists and how it helps people. That's what you want to show. Your industry info, your industry section. You never want to assume that the banker and the private investor or whoever is looking at this financing package, you never want to assume that they know about your industry. You need to be doing research within industry reports. You need to find a industry standard report for your specific industry. For me, it would be the AICPA or the Tennessee Society of Certified Public Accountants. It could be in the Kiplinger letter. There's different independent industry, what am I looking for? Articles, reports that you can find. IBIS World is a really, really good one. IBIS World, IBIS, is a really good place to get industry information. But you've got to have this, and you can't assume that they understand your industry. In my industry, it's completely changing. It's completely changing right now. It's not like it used to be 30 years ago. So you got to be able to explain that to them. The company section is going to include your executive summary. It's a summary of the company. What's your track record? What's your experience? What divisions and office locations, market niches, competitors? What differentiates you from the competition? This is a part of your company section. You want to have a marketing plan. You want to have what drives the plan, what fuel that drives the engine, methodology, databases, information, types of marketing, budgets, results, why you get the results, what are you currently doing, and how is it going? So in this company plan, sorry, I'm having to refer back to my notes here a little bit. In this company section, you want to basically be building what your track record is, where you are right now. What's your current client list? That could be one of the exhibits. How many clients do you have? When you show somebody, when I tell you that we have 974 clients, or I show you sheets of paper with 974 names on them, those sheets of paper mean a lot more. You can actually see the names. It's not just some number that I came up with out of my head. What are your plans for your expansion? What's your mission statement? Include that in your company information. Your core values. Your targets. What's your 1-year plan, your 3-year plan, your 10-year plan? And when I talk about a 1-year, 3-year, and 10-year plan, that's just where do you want your revenue? I want my revenue in 10 years to be $35 million. In 3 years, it should be at $14 million. In 1 more year, it should be at $10 million. That's the plan. So what is your mission statement? What's your plans? What are your profit centers? We have 8 different services. Tax planning. How does that service work? Jump method. How does that service work? Here's the price points for each one of those services. That's your profit centers. In the next section, we talk about management and ownership. What does your organizational chart look like? Is it just you? If it is, great. Put yourself an incredible biography there that talks about your history, how you did what you did. What is your experience? Where have you been? Where are you now? Where are you going? If you can tell that, I mean, it's just a basic story. And this is something I work on all the time, even when I'm talking on Instagram or when we're even having a show. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. What are we going to talk about? How are we going to talk about what we're going to talk about? And then how are we going to sum up what we're going to talk about? That's what you got to do in this financing package. So your management and ownership is your organizational chart, a brief biography of your key people, demonstrate experience and skills. That's exactly what you're looking for. You want to have a document that shows the management of the team. So your financials, you've got to have your top line, your bottom line growth, explain your net growth. This is all going to be in basically your balance sheet, your income statement, and your cash flow statement. You want to really impress a bank, you want to really impress an investor, include your cash flow statement, which we talked about in previous episodes of how to create that. Now, what also you need to include in here would be your cash flow projections. What are you going to project in the next 3 years? And you're looking for 3 years of that. The other sections of your financing packages is going to be your purpose of the loan. What is your purpose of the loan? What are you going to use these funds for? Schedule that out. When I say schedule that out, if you're going to ask for $2 million, $500,000 is going to go to equipment, $500,000 is going to be for working capital. $250,000 is going to be to pay off my non-compete agreement since I'm starting a brand new business. And $750,000, I think that adds up to $2 million, is going to be for my build out of my office space. Show the purpose of the loan. And what is the loan request? The purpose of the loan is different than the loan request. The purpose of the loan is what you are going to use the loan for. The loan request is the total amount of money that you are asking for. $2 million, okay? So the last part is your exhibits. In your company information, in each one of these sections, you might have actual exhibits. Those need to be at the end of the financing package. So that client list would be Exhibit A. That's going to be at the end of the financing package. You want this to be professionally produced. You want it to be in 14-point type. I mean, I'm getting detailed here, right? This is what it says in the book. And I would say if we're going to listen to anybody, we need to listen to prior history. The Rockefellers, I think they did pretty good. I think they understood wealth. You want this to be in block paragraphs, and no paragraph needs to be more than 75 words. You want this to be justified, block paragraphs, justified, 14-point type. No more than 75 words in each paragraph. And it needs to be professionally produced. Put it in a 3-ring binder. Man, you walk into that meeting with 3-ring binders, one that you can look at, 2 for each one of your potential investors, and you go through that with tabs on each section. I'd be amazed that you don't walk out of there with some amount of money or at least another direction to go in order to get money for your business. So I want you to take these episodes, watch them again. There's a lot of information in here. I'm even talking with Meg while we're going through this. I'm like, I could spend a year just talking about just this. Maybe we need to make that the accountability show next year, actually. Just on getting money for your business, because the number one thing that we help our clients with is getting money for their business. Whether it's through preparing tax returns every year to remain compliant so that they can go get that loan. One thing you don't even realize is that if you don't have your tax returns done, you can't get a loan. That's one of the first things that the banks are going to ask for. Besides a financing package, they're going to ask for your tax returns. They want your financial statements. That's what we help you prepare. So the fact that you don't have those ready and prepared and organized and easily accessed could cost you $1 million. Have you ever thought about your tax preparation that way? That's what we try to communicate with our clients. We're not just keeping you compliant. We're part of that preparation. We're part of those 3 Ps: preparation, presentation, persistence. We're going to help you with each one of those because we're going to be persistent in helping you go get money for your business. So a few things that I want to tell you. Do I need to say this? Or are you just writing it down?
I mean, if you want to.
All right, cool. Meg helps me all the time. So we're going to be making a financing package course that'll break down all of this. Subscribe to our e-blast at www.jdfrost.today to get updates on the course. But if you want more information, and I love this, I love doing these things. We're going to have a course that just talks about this. We'll probably be doing some webinars around it because this is, I helped a client yesterday get $150,000 for their business. Point blank, in about 5 minutes. That's what we do. That's the advantage that you have in working with us. And yes, I'm telling you that we're really, really good at it. Really good at it. I've raised about $10 million for businesses over the last year. So this is something that we know. And I'm going to remind you, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Go watch or listen to the podcast, the Daily Ledger podcast on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you can get access to podcasts, and listen to these episodes. It will make a difference in your business. It will push you to do things differently. It will give you guidance and practical knowledge that you can use to grow your business. Thanks for tuning in. I'm JD Frost, and this is the Accountability Show.